Hello everybody, my name is DeSoto. I'm with the Department of Energy and I work in the Weatherization Assistance Program. I'm the manager of the program there, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. First of all, I want to thank you for coming to the training. I think you'll find it very informative and you'll find it a very interesting and very beneficial program. I'm sorry I couldn't be at the training, but I do work with 13 states and they keep me hopping. And hopefully I won't take up too much of your time, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, one of the first things I want to talk to you about is what is the goal and the priorities of the program. The goal of the program is to reduce energy costs for low-income households by increasing the energy efficiency of their homes and also ensuring their health and safety. We serve elderly, people with disabilities, families with children, and those with a high energy burden in all types of housing, from single-family, mobile homes, multifamilies, and we serve owners and renters. There are income eligibility guidelines for the program, which is currently 150% of poverty. So what is weatherization? What do we do in the homes? Well, it's become a very sophisticated program. But when you think of how you do weatherization on homes, a lot of people think of the old-fashioned way, which is caulking and weather stripping, maybe putting a little plastic over windows, installing some storm windows or storm doors, and maybe rolling some insulation in the attic. These are fine, but these are not things that really save a lot of energy like the things we do in our program, which are listed on the right side of the screen there, with advanced energy audits to determine what should be done in a house, the use of a blower door in the picture up on the right, and other diagnostic tools. When we do windows, we will do some low E windows, we'll do high efficiency furnaces, and we do what we call electric baseload measures, which are refrigerator replacements and high efficiency lighting. We blow a lot of insulation in the program because that's often the biggest saver of energy and provides the biggest savings in dollars for the people that live in the home. We pay a lot of attention to health and safety, things that people don't normally think about, like asbestos and lead paint and mold. That's things that we have to be aware of in the program. Real briefly, I want to tell you how the program works. We receive our funding, the Department of Energy does, from Congress in an allocation. That allocation we give to states, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and then there are certain Native American tribal organizations that get direct grants, which I'm sure you'll be interested in hearing more about. That money then goes to local agencies that provide the actual services. These are the ones that do the work in the homes that I just talked to you about. Currently we have over 970 local agencies that serve the nation. In a 12-state region that I work with, there are 166 agencies. These are normally community action agencies, nonprofits, and agencies of local government. They actually do the work on the homes. The homeowners get the work at no cost to them. This is free services. And this slide's a little dated here, but the actual per unit average that we try to maintain is right under $3,000. So it sounds like a lot of money, but there's a lot to do in the homes, and quite often it doesn't go quite that far. As I mentioned, we do site-built houses, mobile homes, multifamilies, occupied by low-income senior and persons with disabilities. If people are already on other public assistance programs, they can qualify for our programs, such as the LIHEAP program, the TANF, SSI, or AFDC. Owners, renters, and shelters are allowed. Renters, we usually need written permission. We can only go to these houses one time for the most part. We have a date of September 30th, 1993, that if it was done before then, we can go back, do weatherization on the houses with a new energy audit. But if it's been done since then, we can't go back to the house. So it's a one-time shot with DOE funds. This is some photos of some of the housing stock that we work on and some of the problems. You'll see up very top, you'll see a mobile home. Up on the right, this is some actual wiring that we find in the house. The housing stock varies from very good condition to not so good condition. There's things that go on with these kinds of homes, like lead paint issues and other hazards. I'm sure you're well aware of what the housing stock is in your area, and it runs the gamut in this program also. We see a multitude of health and safety problems, such as what's being shown to you now. Comes out of the house right here. This is even a greater problem in that this thing is supposed to naturally vent out, and it can't really do that. We have to fix problems like that. We do some sophisticated training. Here is a model home that's built under plexiglass that actually simulates what happens in a home when ventilation systems are turned on, furnaces are turned on, and what have you. We talk about backdrafting of appliances. We can measure how tight the houses actually are. I mentioned we do a lot of insulation, attic insulation and sidewall insulation, insulation on mobile homes, on the ceiling and underneath them quite frequently. And we use some very commercial grade equipment to do this program with the various vehicles and insulation equipment necessary to do the work. On the health and safety side, we will check for the ventilation available in a house, as well as is there carbon monoxide in the house, which is what we're testing here with a range. Here is a picture of mold that is found in a house. All this gray stuff in the background there is mold building up. From the house being too tight and having too much moisture in it, these are things that we have to consider in this program. On the left there is the swinging doors, the refrigerator. This is one of the new additions we've added to our program, where we not only address the heating side of a home's energy use, but also the electrical side. And quite frequently, old refrigerators use a lot of energy. We replace them after we meter them to make sure that they will be cost effective to replace. But I do want to take one moment and tell you how you find information and apply for weatherization services. If you want to learn more about weatherization, contact the current local provider in your area. There is one in every county in the United States. Somebody does this program in your area. To find that somebody, you can contact the name on a list that includes the state program manager for the DOE weatherization program, or they can tell you who the local person is in your area that administers the program. You can contact your LIHEAP office, or you can visit the two websites that are listed below, which are really good because they're very informative. They contain a lot of the information that I went over real fast with you on. DOE weatherization website is this first one listed here. And on the Weatherization Technical Assistance Center website, what we call WAPTAC, is a lot more detailed information on all the technical stuff and publications. That's currently how you tie into the weatherization program right now. There are some other ways that you'll probably be interested in learning about, and that is, as I mentioned up front, about being a direct grantee in the program. This here is the program regulation book for the Weatherization Assistance Program. It's called 10 CFR 440, and it contains all the regulations in it. There's a section in here that speaks specifically to Native Americans and how they can apply to be a direct grantee of the program, or how they can apply to be a sub-grantee. Now keep in mind, we only have a couple of direct tribal grantees right now. We've had more in the past. The main reason is because the allocations that go to reservations and tribal areas is usually pretty small, and almost too small to really be cost effective, to be able to operate a program. So they are currently served by agencies that serve a wider area because they can get more funding that way. However, that is an option that is available, and if you want more information about that, you can contact me and I can talk with you directly. Thank you.